Influences on intercultural communication. Knowing that culture is a multi-layered, dynamic part of our being, we need to be responsible for our influences or biases when we are communicating with other people. Remember that in order to be an effective communicator, you want to keep the receiver of your message in mind. This means you also have to consider what kinds of influences they might have in their cultural makeup. Geert Hofstede's research defines some key influences on intercultural communication. While Hofstede's work is generally applied to countries, it can be useful when thinking about a company or an organization's culture, too. Hofstede's influences are presented on a spectrum. A culture may be high or low in a given influence, or anywhere in between. It is important to do your best to keep your judgment out of your thinking. In other words, there is no one right way to live. Being interculturally competent means that you can be aware and open to learning about or from the many ways in which people live in the world. This means you understand that difference is not a problem, but instead an opportunity to learn. The first influence Hofstede defined is power distance. This refers to how people of a certain culture view power relationships, such as equality or hierarchy. High power distance cultures work in systems of authority, status, or caste. At work, you might not be expected to bring your own ideas. That would be the role of your boss. Low power distance cultures work with less hierarchy. In low power distance culture, for example, you may call your boss by their first name. The second influence is masculinity or femininity. A more masculine culture will have clearly defined and lived gender roles. There is value on achievement and acquisition of material goods. A feminine culture has less defined gender roles. There's a value on the quality of life and nurturing of relationships. The third influence is uncertainty avoidance. High uncertainty avoidance means you are more likely to want to follow the rules, policies, and procedures. There is value on formality and stability. A culture that has low uncertainty avoidance will tend to take more risks, be more entrepreneurial, and are more comfortable with ambiguity and uncertainty. The fourth influence is individualist or collectivist. In individualist cultures, people are more focused on themselves and less on others. Decisions are made independently with less consideration of any other people. Collectivist cultures view themselves as members of a group and are concerned about any effects their actions might have on the group. Decisions are made through consensus or through consultation. Hofstede and other intercultural scholars have defined many more influences on intercultural communication, such as relationships to time or relationships to nature. For now, keep these four influences in your mind when you're building relationships with someone outside of your own cultures. Know where you are on the spectrum of each of these four influences, and then take the time to also understand where your new friend or colleague is on the spectrum. Understanding and respecting our differences will make for more authentic relationships in work, school, and life.